Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your hosts Edward McQueen and April Garner.
Good evening, and we are live enough to bring you the best of news and everything else. I'm your host, Ed McQueen. Of course, right on my left over there is WC Live co-host, Miss April Garner Davis.
Yes.
Davis. So, April, how are you doing today?
I'm great today. How are you?
Good. I'm okay. Okay, today's been one of those days, but always enthused about getting on the broadcast and letting people know, let everybody know what we've garnered for them, so that they can take the best of what we introduce to them and what we have to say regarding all the events that have happened as much as possible. Because you're only going to get it right here on WCM Live. We call it free 99, but we'll stop at that point. So today, as promoted, we're going to like to inform everyone about the South Carolina Civil Rights Museum becoming a reality. A lot of people don't know about it right now. And we've had some information regarding our guests maybe 2 or 3 times in the past from his museum. But now an infusion of money has sparked new life into it, and we're looking for some great things. But first, April, we just had a city council meeting in Conway, South Carolina, here a couple of days ago. Today's Tuesday. Well, yeah, in fact, it was just week before last. And we have our city council reporters. They won't let you slide by. Call it the Porterfield Report. And we're here to make sure that they convey to us all the things that we need to hear. Okay, some of the things we miss a lot, and even though this been broadcast on other channels, but not going to get it like you get it here. Okay, so we have the Porterfield Report with none other than the mighty twins, Desmond and Destiny Porterfield. Look, both of you look good. Okay, really, really good. I'm happy to say
Thank you.
So, and I know you're enthused about reporting. I saw y'all taking a lot of notes. So let's just get right to it. Let's go with this brief, and then we'll get on to our information on the Civil Rights Museum, because I know you all want to hear that too. The Porterfields, you all want to hear that too, right? Because just playing on going there. You were there already, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I thought we had you there. There they are on the side right there. So let's get right to it. You guys want to go ahead and start?
Yes, sir. So last week, Tuesday, on January 16th, there was a city council meeting. We were glad to be back. We took some notes, so we have things to report to y'all. First thing we would like to start off is with the Conway of City Council member Larry A. White was sworn in as he was reelected for City Council. And that's him now.
All right.
So congratulations to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next, we have Miss Veronica Ricardo. She was awarded Employee of the Month for January 2024. Ms. Ricardo works at Conway Fitness Center and the Conway Department of Parks and Recreation. Mr. Ashley Smith, on her left, is her director and presented her the award.
All right. And you got some news coming in here today. Let's do it.
So
what do you have next?
Some other things. What we have next, we also have the Conway Police Department was the recipient of the Santee Cooper Award for Alex. I'm trying to get it right. Sorry.
It's okay. It's
Been a
okay.
long day. It's been a long
Excellent to
day.
meet- And law enforcement from the South Carolina Law Enforcement Officers Association.
Okay.
Conway Police
Oh,
Conway Police Chief Dale Long accepted and displayed the plaque to the city council.
oh, that's the plaque there. I'm sorry I didn't have a closer look. I thought I did. But I am.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
That's the plaque that he voted.
Congratulations to him.
Yes.
And we also have a couple of more things. The father-daughter dance this year is sold out.
Whoa.
They're doing Valentine's Day festivities downtown Conway, like movies, photo
Photo
booths, and
And some other things. But when we figure that out, we will report.
yep.
They also said spring sports are now open at Conway Rec. So I recommend signing your kids up for spring sports. And that's about it for tonight.
Well, now I think y'all are being a little modest because weren't you all presented with something
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
well?
they knew that. They were just being, they were just being modest.
Exactly. Looking sharp in that photo right there. Destiny looking
Yeah.
all top modelish and everything. What was this all about? Yeah, what was this proclamation? There's a proclamation from the mayor, right?
So,
No, not really. Go
yes,
ahead,
ma'am. So this was about our first day being back and reporting for the city council, and they were just glad to see us and excited actually because every day we go there we have something to report, and I think that puts a smile on their faces that we are going out and reporting live so other people could know that couldn't be there or couldn't watch to hear them.
Gotcha. Okay, well that's awesome. Destiny, you have some other great news to share as well. Someone was in a debutante cotillion, I believe it was, just recently.
Right. Well, look,
And
it's so modest.
I know,
It's so
just all this
modest.
great stuff going on. Exactly.
Recently, I was in the debutante cotillion. I came second runner up. Overall, it was a good 8 months. I really had fun. Yeah, it was a good 8 months. I really had fun, and it basically it gives you something to do. So,
Well, congratulations to you, and that, of course, is the Mu Iota chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, right? Okay.
yes.
I saw the pictures; they were beautiful. You were definitely beautiful that night.
Absolutely.
And Desmond with his tuxedo on,
Yeah.
escorting his sister.
Man.
Yeah.
we we
Yeah,
have to keep reminding people.
Yeah, I had fun. It was a good experience, to get to know. I think if I'm putting input from my sister and them, it gives them a lot to learn. So when they get into the actual society and they're out of high school, it gives them something to look forward to and everything. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful for their sorority and everything.
And to kind of not piggyback off what my brother said, but I agree with him also with that. But we also we made a sisterhood. We bonded, and that's gonna be us. It's just great to have them.
Wow, that's so nice. That's
Awesome.
That's awesome.
And also, while I'm at it,
Okay.
so the runner-up and the winner, I was the second runner-up. Mariah Floyd was the first runner-up, and Rye Stanley won Peerless Pearl overall. So
Right.
I'll give a shout out to all of the girls because they did amazing.
They did, yes, absolutely.
That's
There was also a couple of other awards. I think there was Miss Congeniality, and seems like there was one other award.
Yes. Miss Congeniality went to Layla Bromell. Mariah got, I don't remember.
He said everything.
Yeah,
That's all I can remember.
that's about it.
Well, I'll say this. I saw the court. I saw the pictures of the court, and all of you are fantastic, talented, intelligent, just ready for the future. And it's so wonderful that you had that experience, Destiny, and also Desmond, because you'll find that whatever you learned along the way will take you far. As you venture off into the world or into society, as they say, welcome to society, and you'll be able to use a lot of what you learned as you start to meet in people and develop relationships and all of that. Laquanette Brumel, who is Layla's mom, thank you for watching tonight. She says perfect attendance and scrapbook. So I guess those were some awards as well that were given on that evening. So congratulations to you. And I do have one question when it comes down to city council. So it sounds like this meeting was all about recognizing people in the community. Was that the only business that they took care of at that particular meeting? Were some recognitions and some of the?
It was mostly recognitions. I could say. I don't want to say it right now, but they were also talking about. Which was actually surprising to me, but there was Miss Patricia Fuller, if I'm getting her name right.
Priscilla.
She was talking about crosses being burnt outside of town. And I actually told my mom that I wanted to talk about that, but I think I still have more to gather information on before I can actually talk about it.
Right.
So I think there's going to be a city council meeting in February. Is when I actually really want to talk about it.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that's good. That's good information for us to know because that is one of the most current hot issues impacting Horry County, and it's interesting. I'm glad you mentioned it tonight, especially because of who our other special guest is, Mr. Cecil Williams, who is the founder and CEO of the South Carolina Civil Rights Museum that he started. Also, someone who has captured a lot of instances in terms of civil rights movements that were, either peaceful demonstrations or not, against things such as cross burnings and other injustices, racial injustices that impacted Black people in America. And so I hope you both will stick around and listen to Mr. Cecil Williams. He's not he's no stranger to our show. I love to call him an icon. He's iconic, and I'm going to find that photo and show it tonight. And when you see the photo, if you haven't seen it already, you'll say to yourself, that's him. Yes, that's him. And he's going to talk a lot about what he has going on in terms of the museum, and Brother Edward is going to lead us through that discussion tonight. So bear in mind that a lot of people fought and worked hard to advocate for social justice. And so what has happened in Horry County aligns with all of that work. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens in South Carolina with the hate crimes bill. And because that's something that is long overdue. And as long as we, are devoid of measures to punish people for crimes like this, we'll probably continue to see it. I don't know that we'll ever stop, even if we do have a hate crimes bill. But, it would be, I think it's critical that South Carolina recognizes that they need to do something to deter the activity. So stick around. You're about to get a really nice history lesson. Is there anything else you want to share with us as far as what you learned at City Council this week, or any, upcoming dates that we need to be aware of in the community? I know you mentioned some announcements about some things coming up, but have you covered everything that you want to cover tonight?
I know on April 13th of 2024, they're doing it's like a run. The Father's Place is hosting it. We haven't gotten the time yet, but I'll let you guys know.
It'll start on Elm Street and run through Lowell Street and end on Elm Street.
That's nice. It sounds like it might be a little 5K or something that they're doing. Is something like that? Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
in the third third Saturday of December, there will also be a shop with cop. So,
What is it? Shop with a cop? Is that what you said?
yeah.
Okay. And what's the purpose of this particular event? Do you know?
It's basically
just-
like how people do in schools. Like if you want to buy a present for your parent or your sibling in the school for Christmas or something like that, basically you can do it with a cop and they will help you out.
Okay.
Well,
Well, that's awesome. Well, great report. Keep bringing the community news and the city council news to us. And it looks like, everyone's enjoying it. Laquanette says, great report, twins. And we agree with her wholeheartedly. So thank you so much for this week's Porterfield report. And yeah, like I said, stick around and listen. Stick around and listen to what Mr. Cecil Williams has to say about the Civil Rights Museum, okay?
All right.
All right. Thank you. All right.
All right, we see you guys.
Edward? I know.
Oh, man. Oh, look. They didn't want to turn them loose. Next time, we're going to make sure they have even more information. Now, this was a lot, okay? But, it's just like, you're just getting used to that, all of that energy and all that. Seemed like they were a little creative. They're getting a little creative there and conveying the information that everybody needs, okay? Nobody, I don't think too many people listen to what's going on in the city council, but they got recognized themselves, as we said earlier, about having their presence there on a constant basis. And and I think the recognition had in tune and more involved with their age group. They were probably the only ones there of anybody under 20 or under 25. Okay.
All right.
They're constantly been there. Of course, they're reporting for the WC magazine.
Well, I think that's wonderful. You are introducing them to mass communications, and they're actually acting as correspondents. So they are on the scene, doing their thing. And it's great that, they're keeping up with the city council report and also can add some community news to that. So we need that. And it's great to see the young people involved in that.
Absolutely.
And just like Stephanie Sessions Malone says, so good to see young people getting involved with the community. Absolutely.
And they have, I want to let everybody know they carry a lot of humility. And I'm proud of that, and that attracts me a lot.
All right. So, Brother Edward, we have a very special guest, and I know everybody's eager to hear more about the South Carolina Civil Rights Museum. And before we get into that, though, I just want to share, and I always have to do this whenever we have him on the show, this photo of Mr. Cecil Williams. And it's, again, one of the most iconic photos that people who were not familiar with who he was. I think a lot of people thought it was like a photo that was taken recently and just kind of staged, but actually, the credits on this says that he was coming back from a 1956 trip, photographing South Carolina segregated beaches, and he stopped at a filling station that was closed, and he drank from a whites-only water fountain. And this image was captured by Rendell Harper, who's a friend of Mr. Williams, and it is definitely one of the most iconic photos that we all know in our culture when it comes down to civil rights and Black history and all of that. So this is the gentleman that we have with us tonight, and it's amazing that he's still in the fight, doing the things that he feels he needs to do. He feels he needs to do in order to make sure that the civil rights era and the movement is captured and it's depicted in the right way, that there's nothing left out in terms of the history, because we know that that's a big fight for us right now. So we applaud his work before we even see him tonight. So I'm going to bring on now Mr. Cecil Williams. How are you this evening?
Good evening, everyone. Such a great pleasure to be with you. I'm very envious that we don't have such a broadcast like you have going on here in our community in Orangeburg. But Let me put it this way. I'm going to see what we can do, maybe about stealing your idea over here.
Hey, whatever we can do to help, we'll help you. No problem.
Absolutely.
But it's really great to get your young folks inner city and things like this. So I congratulate you on that. But thanks very much. And I want to thank you very much, everyone on this program, for keeping in touch with me. You are people that, I just admire you so much because you have reached out and have given us a lift and a hand. And for that, I appreciate that very much. You brought me over to Atlantic Beach 4, 5, 6 months ago, and I appreciated that. My wife, who was the president of NAACP, I had to leave right after making a presentation, but I want you to know that I enjoyed my trip there very much, and I will never forget it. And please do invite me back again.
Will do.
And I want you to also know that, yes, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Civil Rights Museum that is yet to come, but we have a Civil Rights Museum right now you can come and visit. Since we opened in 2019, we've had about 25,000 visitors, and the museum we have is the first and only civil rights museum in the state of South Carolina. Out of all the 16 southern states of the United States, South Carolina was the only one that I've been able to find that did not have a civil rights museum. You see, the museum in Charleston, South Carolina, which is very beautiful. I've been there twice. I'm going back again. I encourage everyone to go. It is a museum about the entire African-American experience in America. But the Civil Rights Museum we have in Orangeburg, which is the South Carolina Civil Rights Museum, tells about the stories about the time that we achieved our freedom, justice, and equality under the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. And that took place mostly between the years of 1950 to 1970. And when I took that picture of me drinking out of the water fountain, you better believe that I got a chewing out by my parents. They told me that, boy, you better be careful about what you're doing. They encouraged me to do what I wanted, but still yet, I got a chewing out that was dangerous. Because, there was not particularly a law against that. The laws mostly were with education, that if you were a person of color, you could not attend the same schools.
Right.
But what happened, that was really the backbone of how communities all over the South, and especially in South Carolina, established segregation, racism in the local communities. So you couldn't go to the library to study during this period of time. You couldn't go to a playground. You couldn't even go into a store and get a hamburger. These were the days of rigid segregation. If you wanted to go to a movie theater, you had to sit upstairs or downstairs, or you could not enter at all. So we're happy that those days are going by. But as you see, from things that are happening right now in 2024, we've come a long, long way.
Absolutely.
Believe that if you are a person of color in the United States of America today, racism is still alive. It's gotten more sophisticated. They use code. There are all kinds of ways of advising it and also disguising it, but it's still there, and color still does matter in these United States. We have not yet achieved the victory of a colorblind society like the Reverend Martin Luther King talks about in his philosophy and his speeches, but we're working along it. One of the things that helps us to move along, it is said that if you don't know your history and where you come from, it's hard to chart a path from where you're going. And so that's why we feel that the museum we have started in Orangeburg is necessary for the youth and adults and everyone, and black and white and everyone, because this is American history we are displaying. But there was a time when we had to get in the streets of Orangeburg, and Charleston, and Greenville, and Columbia, and Myrtle Beach, and Atlantic Beach, Aiken, Florence, all over the state of South Carolina, and march and demonstrate to make it known that we were not satisfied with the segregation that prevailed over our lives. And those people should not be forgotten, because again, we are reminded of that today when the color caste system is hidden and it's not out front, you can't see it, but it's still there. It's still there in the minds and the actions of people like Donald Trump, and mostly about similarly the Republican agenda that we people like the governor of Florida, who just dropped out, who tried to take history, Black history, out of and to ban books and things like that. And again, even about the our local here in South Carolina, we had Nikki Haley, who was our governor, and her not even knowing about the fact that the Civil War was fought over, again, enslavement of people, keeping people enslaved, from which we built the economy, from which this state rests its millions and billions of dollars. Yet we derive very little for it. So again, color does matter. It is important that we work towards truly achieving freedom, justice, and equality for everyone, regardless of their color or complexion or race. In fact, there is one race on the planet Earth, and that is the human race. And it's still people that think they're intelligent, such as the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, who doesn't know his history. And we're going to be in a world of trouble if we don't get out to vote. So it's going to be an important election. The folks that we will end up supporting probably ideal and perfect? No. Is this a perfect America? No. But we've got to support, again, a person who possesses the values and a Democrat and a party that possess the same values that most Americans, Black and white, and being fair to people and being kind and being considerate to one another, regardless of their background. To make sure that we pull everyone so they can have a comfortable life in this great country we call America. Earlier, a few minutes ago, I sent some images of the new museum that's going to be built. I don't know whether you saw it, Edward. Did you pull those up from your website, from your email?
Brother Edward, if you forward them to me, I'll get them up.
I sent a few minutes ago on Edward's email. I wanted to show you.
Okay, a few minutes ago.
Times that this is being revealed. Now we have a museum in Orangeburg, and we invite all of your guests. You can come this week to see our museum we have. We have a 3,200 square foot museum in Orangeburg to date with many exhibits. But in April of this year, we hope to break ground for a 14,000 square foot building in downtown Orangeburg, right across the street from South Carolina State and Claflin. And it's going to be, again, a museum that attracts hopefully millions of people. So it is important to us in South Carolina that we showcase our history and where we've come from. We here in South Carolina have not been very assertive about our history. We've sort of forgotten about that. But really, at no disrespect to the Reverend Martin Luther King, who I photographed and who is in our museum, in South Carolina, really, we were at the forefront and the origin of where the civil rights movement began. Again, no disrespect to him, but again, the civil rights movement began here in South Carolina. But our historians and our history books don't tell it that way. But we want you to come to the museum we have now and the museum that's going to be up and coming and see the people whose shoulders we all stand on. We feel that this helps to build a foundation, and in young minds, looking at what your grandfathers and great-grandparents did during the 1950s to the 1970s, and are still doing now, perhaps, you can get a better idea of whose shoulders we stand on. We owe so much to their sacrifices. It wasn't always easy. People died so that you can have, the younger generation can have the life that they want. So we can have the America that we have today. People died for that. People
you could have gotten killed when you were drinking from that fountain.
I could have been injured. It was a risk.
Yeah,
It took
that
place
was
in 60 seconds, though. We stopped at a station down between Walterboro, South Carolina, and Branchville. And I got out of the car and I drank. And while I was out there, Rendell, who accompanied me, took my photograph. And then I took a photograph of him. He did the same thing. And then in less than a minute, we left. People in the station looking, scratching their heads, but we were going by that time. Nothing happened to me. But again, it was one of those things that, one of those unforgettable incidents in my life when God was looking over my shoulder and protected me from harm, just as I narrowly escaped being injured on the night of February the 8th, 1968, when highway patrolmen shot into a crowd of 125 and injured 28 individuals and killed 3 youth on the campus of South Carolina State. I had just left 1 hour earlier. So I had looking over my shoulders. And so I'm so grateful that as a photographer who photographed this great time in America when we were carving out and tweaking the 14th Amendment and changing the United States Constitution without weapons, that we owe so much to the generation of people that preceded us, and they must be remembered. And from that, we can get, by people visiting the museum, the values that we should have as American citizens, values in family, values, the social values that we should develop. Sometimes that's missing from our youth, but we feel this will give you something to really have a balance in your life. I want to also reach out and thank those who have supported the museum, again, from your area. It has been Edward, you and your wife, and others, many others from that area have supported me. You actually paid me to be a presenter at your program, and for that I appreciate. You have put me on your magazine. I owe so much to you, and again, I thank you very, very much for that. That's going to lead me now to, again, I'm begging again for help. One of the things I'm begging for is that in order to truly make this a statewide project, a museum that has history about all areas, I need history from your area. You see, we tell stories in the museum in 3 different ways. We use photographs, documents, and artifacts to tell stories. We have an automobile that tells a story about a man who escaped from South Carolina when he was confronted by the Ku Klux Klan. So that helps us to tell a story. We have photographs, of course. So if in your archives, in your scrapbook, you have, again, memorabilia, things that pertain to South Carolina's civil rights movement era, please think about donating to the museum. So that's my first beg. Of course, the other beg is that even though the city of Orangeburg, the county of Orangeburg, is building us a $4 million museum, the monies that's been coming in and the millions that we've been getting goes to the development of the museum building. It doesn't go to the operation of the Civil Rights Museum. So when you can support us, we would greatly appreciate you going online and contribution to our museum, because we are trying to right now reach out and hire the best museum director. We're going to start a nationwide search to try to find the best person that would be able to run our museum in Orangeburg. I'm a photographer, and I don't profess to be a historian. But we want the best staff to run the museum as we can possibly get. And for that, we hope to have, again, one of the best museums in these United States. Thank you for letting me say these few words, and I congratulate you for all that you are doing in your area of South Carolina.
So yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we've put up the banner if you want to support Mr. Williams and his efforts to not only create or build the museum, but also to support the operations of the museum. You can go to this website and there's a support page. When you click on that support page, it shows you the different levels of membership or donation that you can give. And all of it is certainly a part of, the founding of this historical landmark here in South Carolina. There's a Cash App option. I don't know if that's still available, Mr. Williams, but that's certainly great that you have electronic payment options so that people can, do things like that right away. So visit this website, check out the support page, the different levels. No amount is too small. I will say that. No amount is too small.
That's right.
It all adds up. And I also was able to pull down, get Brother Edward sent me the photos. So if you want me to, I can pull up a couple of the slides that were sent, and you can talk about those if you like, Mr. Williams. Okay?
Yes, please. Okay.
All right. Okay.
This is a side view of the museum. Again, this is at the railroad corner in downtown Orangeburg, right across the street from the South Carolina State University and Claflin campuses. It's called Railroad Corner. It's a two-story building consisting of about between 10,000 and 14,000 square feet.
Okay.
This is a dust view of the museum, the front of it. As you see, it really is built in the same place that two African-American businesses of that era were located, the State Theater and the College Soda Shop. And of course, we're saving that history. We want people to know that there were Black businesses like these businesses all over the state of South Carolina. Yes, in your Atlantic Beach area, the coast, the lower part of South Carolina, all over the state of South Carolina, there were Black businesses, restaurants, theaters, mom and pop businesses that supported the Black American community when we could not go into other stores and places to again shop as people of color. I think the last photograph that you might have is the floor plan. We want to be able to fill this with, again, history. What I embarked on in the last 36 hours, though, is something that, again, I had been searching for an answer for is, what do we do about our young people who want to visit the museum? In the last 12 hours, I have received 5 requests for elementary and middle school students to come to the museum. Now, to be frank with you, I have not done a very good job of designing exhibits that particularly can be of interest to young minds, such as elementary and middle school. But I want you to know that in the last 12 hours or so, I have embarked on a mission to try and design a special area in the museum that will attract young minds. One of the things I will be doing is we will have a large wall scape, I'm going to call it. And in there, we
I'm not quite sure what happened to the feed, Brother Edward. You want to?
I think it's on his end. It looks
Yeah.
like he was walking with his phone.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was transmitting from his phone. So
Hopefully he'll rejoin us or whatever. But Brother Edward, you visited the museum and have taken some young people to Orangeburg.
yeah, twins.
So tell us a little bit about what you will see when you go there.
And I apologize for this, but I wish I had some graphics to really enlighten people as to what will go there. Look, when I say you'll see everything, even though he's still asking for more items of graphic photos or whatever kind of memorabilia about South Carolina and its Black history. It was so monumental in terms of the for lack of a better word, the magnitude of display that he had. It's just awesome. Again, the Porterfields, the twins were there. I think they were on the trip that we took a bunch of young people there some time ago. I'm not sure it was the beginning of this year, of 23 or 22, one of the two. But everybody, look, 90% of them, 95% want to go back again. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They want to go back again. It's just
that's awesome. Mm-hmm.
Really. Everybody thinks what they thought before they went there, that it was centered around, because it was located in Orangeburg, it was centered around, and it's talked about a lot. And that was the 3 gentlemen who got killed, who got murdered, or lack of a better word, and massacred on state campus by state troopers there. And I forgot what year it was, but that's the most talked about in there. But I saw that everything else was just as wide as that. There was something about the civil rights group where not a group, but people who were not that I didn't grow up thinking about, and didn't learn until I got there really about the heroes and the sheroes we had right in South Carolina who they were running for their lives, priests, preachers, and black leaders were running for their lives trying to desegregate the many things that we thought were going to better our lives. And it was just, got those photos, okay? And let me just get back to the three gentlemen who got shot. He has the bullet shells on display there of those three. By the state troopers. Right, and the bullets the lead that were in those bullets that killed them. Okay, so here it is mentioned. Joella says that Ms. McIver partnered with the World Magazine to take our youth to Orangeburg. Yeah, that was, yeah. And she did, Ms. McIver. In fact, she developed a program for that, and we're so grateful for that. She was a very integral part of that, and her as everybody was on that. I mean, everybody was just in massive participation. The enthusiasm was there. It was just awesome, So getting back to what's there, they have it's a wall. Also, in fact, he's got a media room that once you bring a group there, it gives you an overview of some lost, I look at as lost history on South Carolina civil rights and lost history of people, again, sheroes and heroes who made things be to where it is today in South Carolina. And these people paid terrible price. Really, a terrible price for their families. One gentleman, I can't call the name right now, but he had, they ran him out of town, and Mr. Cecil Williams kept the car that he had to abandon. I think that's what it was. And the car's on display right now at the museum.
Wow. Wow.
I'm telling you, he's got some stuff. And when we see the expanded version of that museum, and by the way, that concept, that pictorial concept that you just pulled up, that's awesome. I mean, that's okay. That's awesome. And he felt that it's going to be to the magnitude that he needs to hire someone who's almost an expert to operate the museum. I mean, so you can imagine what he knows that he has to be displayed. Okay. So if you have to hire someone, then they expect a lot.
Right.
Expect a lot. So
yeah, and as he was talking about the kind of support he needs right now, and the fact that he's trying to create youth-friendly exhibits and things that will be interactive or engaging once you visit the museum. My thought was, he's in the front door of South Carolina State and Claflin. I don't know if they have library science programs or if they have, any major tracks that students are taking that would lead them to become, members of the art community, museum curators or whatever. But, maybe he should reach out to those colleges to see if there's a possibility of getting some interns to help him, to make that come to life, because, it's tough. I can imagine he's probably a one-man show, or he has very limited resources in terms of, help and support. This would be a great way to get, even our college-aged young adults involved in this. Imagine, that they could say they were a part of the development of the first and only South Carolina Civil Rights Museum. So, Brother Edward, the next time you reach out to him, talk to him about that and see if he's
Yeah.
taking that route
Right.
as far as talking to, and even, Columbia is not that far. There may be someone at University of South Carolina who's willing to do it on the weekends, to come down
That's
and
true.
help. But
That's true.
that's
Yeah.
another way to get the young people involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Well, it looks like he's lost his feed for the evening, but Patricia Millette, she inquired about whether he's open on Sundays. According to the website, they are still taking appointments for visits. So I put that number on the screen if you're interested in a tour. Call the museum to schedule an appointment or to talk to them about bringing a group or yourself as an individual to come and tour. I'm sure once he, has completed, the other segments that he's working on, maybe they'll get to the point where they'll be able to just be open, regular hours to the public. But, and then also, as we mentioned before, it's imperative that the community supports Mr. Cecil Williams and his endeavor to, complete his vision and his mission to create a South Carolina Civil Rights Museum. So if you want to support the endeavor, visit cecilwilliams.com, go to the support page, and you'll see the ways that you can give, and no dollar amount is too small. So, Brother Elwood is...
April, excuse me, go ahead. Very important announcement. I think I'm looking at the comment box from Reverend Cheryl Moore. It's a lot to say, but this task force is a very, very important task force. And that meeting is tomorrow. It's taking place at 5 p.m. Formed by the Conway City Council. It will be held in the conference room next to the City Council chambers. And I know it's a lot there in order to put up over the screen. But if people can see the chat on the comments on the side, please do. It's from Reverend Reverend Adamson, and she says that it's a community announcement. Wish we could put the whole thing up, but we can't. Whittemore Task Force, which was formed by the city of Conway. I'm saying that again. It was formed by the city of Conway to look at, the Whittemore, the elementary school situation again. Okay, that's being revisited. The fact that it's being revisited shows the importance of it, that and everybody is considering. Okay, it's been revisited. So they're going to meet tomorrow, which is January 24th at 5 p.m. And the public is invited to attend and give the input and ask questions. The meeting is being held in the conference room next to the City Council chambers, downtown Conway. Okay. All right.
All right. Well, first of all, we'd like to thank everyone for being engaged and helping us to welcome Mr. Cecil Williams, and of course the Porterfield twins for the Porterfield Report. It certainly is a pleasure to have all of you with us, and please pass the word about the broadcast every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. And hopefully, we can have Brother Williams back. And I'm sure we will as he, gets closer to completing the museum, but also to give us updates from time to time. And if you have any show topics that you would like for us to feature, you know of any special guests that would be great for a conversation on the show, please be in touch with us. You can always reach me via Facebook. Go to our World Community Magazine page as well. Go to our website, wcmagazine.net, and drop us a line through the contact form. And we'll be more than happy to reach out to you. There's a couple of topics that have come up. Brother Edward and I will explore. Of course, as you know, we are in an election year, so there's a lot of, there's a lot going on in society right now that we can certainly talk about. But it's always about having the right guests on the show who can speak from a place of, knowledge and factual information to give us, what we need in order to be more informed citizens. And so we just thank everyone for the support. And Brother Elwood, it's been great tonight. I always appreciate having Mr. Cecil. He's one of my favorites. So and I hope you get down there and visit him.
From the comments that everybody, a lot of people appreciate it.
Yes.
Here.
Absolutely, and I plan to visit the museum as well sometime soon. But anyway, and thank you, Carolyn Hickman Williams, for supporting tonight as well. We appreciate your viewership. So,
I can't wait for this to be an expanded museum. That concept.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's awesome.
It's beautiful, and that's going to be that's going to be a national draw. If he can get it to where he wants it to be. You can tell he's, it's like every time we have him on the show, he's done a little bit more and a little bit more, but you can tell he's not quite satisfied with, where he is in the scheme of things. And, with everything, it takes time. And I'm sure as the community shows more support, he'll get there. And, our prayer is that he'll see his vision through. So
he mentioned that in our, when we had him in our, the latest edition of the magazine, part of his narrative was that, and he didn't say his age on tonight, but he's 85. Okay,
he doesn't look it.
No,
he doesn't look it.
He said he's 85, and he's getting a little edgy now that he wants to see this thing completed.
Yeah.
Just looking at his age, but anything can happen.
All the more reason why we got to get those young people across the street involved. Right. Yeah,
absolutely.
Got to get them involved.
Got to get them involved. We're going to do that.
Yes, absolutely. So, it's been a great night, Brother Edward. And we thank everyone for watching. Again, stay tuned next week. I know La Cornette, she says 85 where? Exactly. Considering what he's seen and been through in his life. Man. I'm telling you, what doesn't break us makes us stronger, right? So
that's right. Over 60 years of photography, I think.
Of photography and capturing these, these incredible moments. So, but we thank everyone for watching tonight. It's been a pleasure. We hope that you all have a great rest of the week, and we will see you next Tuesday week at 7 p.m. God says so.
That's right. I like that one. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Godspeed. See you, everybody.
Okay. Take care.
Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your host Edward McQueen and April Garner.